hello.
I quickly share first. You start first. I'm waiting for it to come out.
Okay. So we are live now.
Yeah.
It's that page, right? Just
Yeah.
making sure that we are live properly. Okay, in the makeshift position. Okay, June.
It's very impromptu.
Hi, June.
So it's like not sure if it's like anyone there.
Okay, the hellos are coming in. Annie, hi,
Oh,
hello.
Annie already like, hi
Alright.
Annie. Hi June. Okay, I share first.
Okay. So, I always refer to, I don't know whether you can see my little calendar thing on top. You know that apple that's on top there? It's what I always talk about when I talk about keeping track of the dates. So I always use that thing where I manually adjust the dice that's up there to make sure that I've changed it. In fact, I have not. So today I'm still stuck on Sunday, but actually it is already a Monday 23rd. And the reason why we can get stuck and forgetful about the day sometimes is because we get carried away or we get absent-minded or in the particular period that we're in, right? So MCOs, I believe it's the 6th day or 7th day. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Today is Monday, right?
I lost count, but I know it's like you find it on Facebook. Surely someone will put there. It's like MCO day what, MCO day what. Okay.
But that's the thing, isn't it? So we've been indoors mostly. I have had some radio shifts which are still on, but we've of course changed the frequency of how frequent we have to show up to do our radio shift. So I've not for the weekend, obviously. Yeah. So anyway, hi to everyone who's managed to join in right now. It is the night before the new moon.
Yes.
So that we know that's happening on 24th, which is tomorrow. So Jessie thought it would be a great idea for us to do this live in conjunction with Fresh Start.
Yeah, I think he just got to know it about like what, half an hour ago.
Yeah, about that.
Okay. I just decided about like half an hour ago as well. It's I've already write down notes on the first day. Is it on the first day? Wednesday? Yeah, on the first day morning of the whole movement restrictive order thing. Okay, I've already like jotted down some notes, but I just don't feel the urge of really making a live sessions or doing live until just now. It's like suddenly, okay, I just felt like, oh, tonight let's go live, and I checked the calendar, and tomorrow is Choyat, it's like the new moon, so I thought, hey, perfect time, okay. So now it's like, especially tonight itself, okay, so whatever that's been shared on tonight's live session, so it will be very good if you can actually reflect upon it. And since now it's like a new moon energy, okay, it's like really like happening now, it will be good for us to really like send out our energy or manifest, okay, whatever, okay, things that we want to manifest. I know like everyone is in a way trapped. Okay, so all of us are trapped somewhere. Not only us, not only Malaysians. Okay, I have a lot of clients in other countries. It's like a lot of them are trapped as well. Okay, so it's like, so I thought like might as well I just resume on to talk about like this year's forecast, which some of you who have attended my annual talk have actually listened to the annual forecast based on the I Ching or the hexagrams, like the I Ching 64 hexagrams. Okay, so today probably I wanted to actually focus on, because it's very impromptu, so it's like we are all over the place. I want to focus on March, okay, the hexagram for March, and then the hexagram for April, and during this transition, which tomorrow will mark the new moon, all right, the transition between the March hexagram to the April hexagram, and new moon itself is like new initiative. It's like new manifestation. It's like something that we start anew. It's a new cycle of things. If you want something at the end of the day, which is like the full moon, if you want to achieve something at the full moon like duration, that the timing itself, right? What is it that we should be doing? What is it that we should realize? And to me, I always believe, because this triggered me by a client who become friend, who messaged me like yesterday. I think yesterday she said that a dear friend who have passed away from a car accident in Hong Kong. Okay, and of course, like we couldn't travel, so she couldn't be there, and she was asking is like what she can do about it. And I come from a family background of like temple, okay, caretakers and all that. It's like normally when people ask you about this, you always suggest prayers and all, but now it's like because of the restrictive orders, right? Okay, it dawned upon me, and of course the most important the most powerful, okay, things that we can always do anytime, anywhere is the power of intention or the power of thoughts. So I actually told her that, you know, instead of like really about she's in Singapore now anyway, she's a Malaysian, but she's working in Singapore. If she really wants to go and pray, she can still go and pray. But the thing is, I just asked her to set that power of intention, okay, to channel Archangel, okay, to lead the soul to the light, okay. So, and that actually dawns upon me as in like today's session, as in like since it's a new moon, and why not understand about the whole situation from a Chinese perspective, sort of like metaphysics point of view, okay? And at least, okay, if you see there's like some support or logic behind it, why not all of us just set the power of intention before we sleep tonight? Okay, since tomorrow is the new moon, right? Before we sleep tonight, just send in this power of intention, of positive intentions, so that when the world comes together, like, you know, with the same intention, things will change. And of course, as Malaysians, right, you know, we know like how powerful it is. It's like, you know, sometimes if we really put our intention into, like, you know, how to say, same thing, with the same intention, great things can happen, changes can happen, okay? But once this intention is resolved or dissolved, or it is not in unity anymore, once these intentions broke, where there are fear, there are doubt, okay, there are loss of trust, okay, when this intention breaks, okay, things will change.
Correct.
Again. All right, so today I want to talk about that.
Okay.
Everything been shared?
Which is great. Yeah, I've already just shared it. And, you know, it is so true, isn't it? I mean, I did my own Facebook Live a few days back, right? And, you know, I spoke about some things. And, you know, some of the things maybe, you know, also will be relevant for tonight's session. We'll see how that goes. But it's so true, isn't it? So we're using the energy of the new moon to make those more positive intentions, set those positive intentions, whether it's to, you know, for all of us to be less fearful during this COVID-19 situation, or whether it's to set a healing intention towards everyone, including all of us in Malaysia, or even for your own personal self, right? A new intention to be less fearful, to actually be more grounded, and so on and so forth. So the new moon coming tomorrow will be a perfect time, and hence this session.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people is like, it's like how to say, ho ganjiang. It's like people feels like scared. People be fearful now. It's like a lot of things happening, but always remember, it is not happening only to me or to you. It's happening to everyone. Everyone is affected by it. So I see that these things as a greater collections of karma happening at the same time. The things that happen equally to everyone, almost everyone in every part of the world has been impacted with the same thing, but everyone's reaction to it, the impact of us out of these things will be different. Okay, right? I mean, some businesses, I can feel you. Okay, some businesses like really like goes into like desperate time. Okay, it's like it's really sad to see that. But there are some businesses that you see is really thriving, is really doing very good. It's like really like sudden. It's like a sudden window. To me, I see this as a collective karma ripening at the same time. So it really depends on our own realizations and our own groundedness and our own preparations to face this, and hopefully in order to overcome this, just take this as like it's a test for everyone. It's like it's a test time, it's an exam time, and everyone is sitting with the same paper. Okay, but how do we answer it? How do we go through this test is something that we might want to reflect on. Okay,
there we go. Okay, so we just had that pause there, right?
So sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, because I'm actually tapping onto Wi-Fi. I'm using our own bedroom because like my group of children is outside, okay, invading the living room, and they are enjoying their after dinner time like every night. Okay, so it's like we decided to actually do it in the discretion of our own bedroom. That's why the Wi-Fi here is pretty weak. So if the line is like choppy, if it's not very clear, please do let me know. And I realized that I can't tune into my iPad, so if you have any questions and anything, I think Gong Yu will be helping me to monitor it through.
Yeah, I'll pick it up. Yeah, in fact, speaking of pick up, I think we lost a few people there just now. But we actually had quite a number actually. comparatively, yeah,
Yeah.
it was actually quite a high number. You know, if we compare to the regular Jessie Lee Facebook Live
It is
session.
okay if you can't
Yeah.
watch it now. Okay, you can always replay it and watch it. So I was just thinking, just because tonight is like the new moon, and it's like tomorrow is Troy, right? It's a new moon energy. So it is a very good time for us to really manifest on things, okay, and really set up the right intention. Because over the past week itself, right, I see like a lot of like anger, frustrations, a lot of posts. If you notice on social media, there's still, especially the first few days itself, okay, there's a lot of like sharings of like news, okay, which at the end of the day, even after sharing it or after you reading it, it might not bring more peace to our heart, but instead of probably more dissatisfaction or even more anger.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, is that really the thing that we want to spread or set out? Or can we actually, like, you know, consciously do it in a better way?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So yeah, if you have, I know a lot of you typing comments there, and I can't really see it.
So far, I'm getting the same comments, so that's good.
Yeah.
Sometimes it sort of like chops off a little bit when it's too fast.
Okay,
But so far, so good. Hi to everyone. You know, I think it'd be a bit difficult to catch highs up, but we appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in. I won't be reading your comments yet now. I'll just go through with it. And for those of you who have attended this year's astrology, right, we know that besides using the Bazi during the forecast, I also use the hexagram during the forecast. Actually, I did prepare the tarot forecast as well. It's just that the time itself, like too many contents, that I have to scrape out the tarot. On the day itself, I've decided to scrape it out, okay, which it's in the slides, okay. But now I want to rerun the whole hexagram of like the I Ching method of like doing the, how to say, the forecast itself, because the I Ching part itself, I prepared the notes. It's already been shared during my talk, and it's easier for me to actually like just share with all of you here. So maybe Gong Yu can also help me. It's like, yeah, of course, firstly we talk about like the how to say, the outlook for 2020 itself, right, based on hexagrams or I Ching. I know probably it might appear, will it appear reversed?
It will probably be reversed, yes.
Yeah. It might appear as reverse, but I've shared this on my Facebook before, so you can just refer back to it. So in general, okay, the hexagram that have derived, okay, based on 2020 Lap Chuan is actually the dimming light, okay, the dimming light, or like this hexagram itself, right, okay, is something that I've actually derived on. Now, someone actually, I remembered, asked me how did I derive this hexagram, okay. Now, this hexagram is not based on Geng Zi year itself. It's not on the pillar itself only, because when I do a forecast for the year, I look at the 4 pillars of Lap Chuan. It means on February 4th itself, right, when I actually like plotted out the chart, the party chart for the year, okay, it's terbalik. Regina said, yeah, I mean,
the
hexagram. This photos has been shared on my Facebook,
Yes.
okay, so you can check back on it.
Yeah.
You just might maybe like want to like listen.
Correct. Don't read. I think don't read the words because the words will all be terbalik. But the hexagram is not terbalik.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because
so
it's
the
symmetrical.
hexagram, right, okay, is actually based on the Lap Chuan day. Okay, February 4th this year when we plotted out the whole party chart, and I'm trying to like match the party chart. Okay, from looking at the party chart itself, right, the image that the party chart gives me, I will choose the nearest, closest hexagram to match with it. To be very, very honest, this method have not done by Sifu in Sifu Joey, who taught me like part of I Ching before, but it has been like greatly in a way practiced also by some of the Hong Kong practitioners. Okay, and when I use this method in a way, because normally we'll use that, okay, Geng Zi year we'll use a Geng Zi hexagram. Okay, let's say if it's like a Jihai year, we'll use a Jihai hexagram, and normally I will use that method for the month itself. So this year I derive from the whole overall pictorial form, okay, from the party, the 4 pillars, and because of 4 pillars itself, the fire is the weakest element when we plotted out. So because of that, right, I find that out of the 64 hexagram, vanquishing of the light or dimming of the light, Bei Fo Ming Yi is actually the closest, okay, that actually matches to this year. Okay. Yeah. So when I share it this year, I'm not sure, but I just feel that I want to share it this way. Okay, but of course I also share that it's like when China starts to cope with the whole COVID-19 thing, and they immediately built the 2 hospitals, okay, naming after the remedy hexagram that I've shared. I know that there's someone out there, okay, who is also in a way that advising to the Chinese government. In a way, they also give them the same method of like Chui Gua or deriving the hexagram.
Okay.
Anyway.
So in the meantime, this is the dimming light hexagram.
So if you look at the dimming light, you will see
Yes.
the point forms that we see there is like it is darkness, okay? It is foolishness. So this year itself, you will see things will suddenly becomes dark. It's like sunset. Everyone starts to lose their way. They can't see brightly the path that they are going through. They can't see the future because everything. Imagine sunset at night. Now, if you go out, okay, right, okay, somewhere outside where everything is dim, there's no light, okay. So people will start to see darkness instead of brightness. And then, of course, the point form is like foolishness. Okay, you will see a lot of people are acting out of foolishness, okay, because the more fearful you become, chances is the more foolish or silly things that you might act out upon, okay. So, and then also, because the third point I put is like sufferings by lacking of wisdom. All right, you will see more and more people will suffer because it's just simply lacking of wisdom. That is also explains by like the need of toilet paper rolls.
That's
I mean,
one.
I mean, yes, it is. I'm curious about it. I am still not sure. I am not like laughing or trying to laugh at anyone, but because to me it's like we are just trying to understand. It's like why? It's like why we react the way we react, why we do the things the way we do it. All right. So, and this hexagram itself, it stated there is like sufferings by lacking of wisdom. Okay. So that is the third point. And the fourth point that I put on this particular hexagram itself, it is jailed, hospitalized, or being framed. Okay, so these three possibilities, either being jailed, being hospitalized, or being framed, the chances is high. Okay, so of course we see a lot of all these things happening. It's like if you're under quarantine, being jailed now in a way. Okay, quarantine, restrictions, lockdowns is being jailed. Okay, and of course hospitalization. All right, that is also happening as well. Now, being framed is not officially in a way, how to say 認咗啊. You know, when it comes about hexagrams and all that divination, right? We want to 對視, we want to 認視. Means that if you divinate something, we also want something to give like an affirmation to it. 認 is like it to reaffirm these things that have happened. Now, a lot of the things have happened, and you and I know that it's already been affirmed. But the thing is of being framed has not fully been affirmed yet. But you can actually see there are news now. All these news are not being verified yet, so they are still news, they are still rumors. But you hear that there are rumors of now, people are debating of where this COVID-19 virus originally started. Okay, all right, is it somewhere in the east or is it somewhere in the west? Okay, that is something that people has been like debating about, because I am no one to say as like exactly where it started, but of course being framed is actually part of the hexagrams that has been like in a way retrieved, okay, out of this. And of course the next point is, okay, people who cannot express their feelings. All right, I am sure probably a lot of you out there, okay, it's like somehow you feel stuck somewhere. You feel there's a lot of emotions, a lot of things that you want to express. You feel bullied, you feel uncivilized, you feel a lot of like how to say 不忿氣 okay, a lot of all these things. Okay, pardon me with my English. Okay, you will have to help me to translate if he understands Cantonese that well. Okay, all right, as in like you will see that also a lot of people feel that their throats has been shut. It's like they cannot express themselves, they cannot speak up.
Yeah,
okay?
and I think what happens is that a lot of times they end up expressing other things, right? They're not expressing the crux of the matter and what they truly feel, but they feel like because they do need to express in their throat chakra is blocked, so they end up expressing in different ways to cover that up. To give an alternative outlet to what they really want to say.
Exactly, and then that is the key point that I also really want to talk about today, because it's like somehow that we feel that we are so suppressed, we are still so, is it oppressed? Is it another word? We feel so like suppressed down that sometimes we flee to other source of like expression. Okay, we express whatever energy that is unexpressed inside us, okay, in a different manner. Okay, and that subsequently will create to another karma, okay, that will lead to another karma. So these are the things that I want to address on. Thus the title, is it COVID-19 virus? That's something that we truly have to be fearful of, or is it something greater at large that we have to pay attention to? All right, and of course the next thing is we talk about blindness. Now blindness over here means denial. People denying to see the truth, people denying to see the fact, people denying the orders, people denying to follow things, people denying to know that the things are getting, I wouldn't say critical, but it is getting serious. People are just denying this fact. Okay, people are living in denial, refusing the truth. That is the next point. Okay, and the last point is, of course, petty people, pettiness. Okay, so this sums up overall of the hexagram of 2020. And when we talk about forecasts, okay, when we forecasted something, we want to have remedy to that something as well. Okay, so if this is the hexagram, obviously it's not the hexagram that we would love to have throughout the year. That's why we need to actually move beyond the hexagram. We try to change things, and in Chinese we call it 流轉乾坤. Okay, we try to change, okay, the heaven and earth. Okay, we try to change things, whatever has been destined. We try to turn things around. So, and by doing that, we need to understand that in Yi Jing itself, right, if you base on the hexagrams, okay, right, now, this is something that explains it. Now, if you base on the hexagrams itself, right, it is comprising of the upper or the lower trigrams. And each of these trigrams itself, we got 3 lines, or yao, we call it, okay. They are all together, there are 6 yao. For those of you who are new into I Ching, right, just listen on, you don't have to understand it technically. Okay, so altogether there are 6 yao altogether, and you know that all these 6 yao, there are 2 lines that represents heaven, 2 lines that represents earth, and another 2 lines that represents human luck, man luck. Okay, that's the cosmic trinity. That's a principle of the cosmic. It's like heaven, earth, and man. These 3 things coexist together. That's the trinity of things, hence Soleil Trinity. All right, so when you look at this, okay, the middle 2 lines itself is represented by the human factor. It means it is something that is within control, okay, with our own action and with our own attitude. All right, the heaven is something like beyond our control. The earth is something that is like location, environment, okay, people around you, okay, but something that is within our control is actually the human, which is like the 3rd or the 4th hexagram. So the next step that we have done, the next step that I did before the talk is, I derive all the guas by changing yao 3 or yao 4, means the line 3 or line 4, which I've circled down there. I've changed it in order to find the the best hexagram by changing yao 3 or changing yao 4 or line 4, which actually comes out to a better hexagram. Okay, and because of that, I've decided to change line 4, because when I change line 4, it will change, okay, the line 4, which is a yin line. If you can see here, line 4, if you can find that is a broken line, is a yin line. If I change that to a yang line, I will change the hexagram from dimming of lights or vanquishing of the light to abundance. Alright? So yeah, the technical stuff here. Okay.
So this is where the change on the 4th line. When
you change that line, the 4th line, okay, you can only change to yin to yang or yang to yin. So from that one, from yin to yang, you change dimming of light to abundance. And definitely abundance is something that we hope to have. It is something that we want to achieve. Okay, we prefer or we rather have like abundance rather than dimming of light. So in order to live up to abundance, we have to focus on line 4 or yao 4. Okay, so yeah. Thanks, Gong Yu. See, he's doing all the
this one, I think, it's going to be reversed, so no point. Okay.
Yeah, no point doing this, no point sharing this. But it has been shared. It has been shared on my Facebook. If you scroll down the trade, right? Okay, somewhere in before end of January or before Lap Chun, I've shared this information when China is rushing to complete the 2 hospitals in Wuhan within 10 days. Alright, it is a Fo Shan Shan and also Lui Shan Shan. Okay, it's the Thunder Hospital or the Fire God Hospital. Okay, and that is actually derived from the Thunder Fire Abundance hexagram. It means it's a change gram, it's a pinhua. It's like something that we want to deliberately change to that, because that hexagram is going to help us to cope with the whole dimming of light situation. When you see no hope anymore, when you don't see the light anymore, when you see so much fear, so much obstacles coming towards you, you want to change it to the thunder fire hexagram. Okay, in Chinese we call 雷火風. Okay, so now we can allow,
so the key is the 4th line. Yes, so you want to talk about the 4th line?
And of course, the next thing is we talk about the fourth yao or the fourth line.
Yep.
All right. So the fourth line itself, right now, every line in I Ching governs different thing. Okay, it governs different status, different positioning, different parts of things, different parts of the body. Because I Ching is something that governs the universe. Okay, everything in the universe is governed by the I Ching. So when we look at the fourth yao or the fourth line itself, right? The fourth line, now the notes that I've actually shared, the fourth line, first of the pointers, it says entering into a higher state of mind. Okay, it's like entering into a higher state. Means everyone, a higher state means wisdom. We need to think and we need to reflect. If we merely just share news that can further aggravate other people, that can further make other people becomes angry, even though it's a fact, all right, I'm sure some of you are sharing facts out there, but yes, everyone knows the fact, everyone knows about all these things. But if we further want to aggravate it, what good is it going to bring? Right? People knows about it, right? Why don't we just reflect on it and think how to enter into a higher state of mind instead of further aggravating anger, further aggravating frustration? Is there anything else that we can actually share or do that can bring more love and more trust and more peace into the society, into the world for now? Okay, so that is the first state. Okay, and that is individual, is depending on everyone else. It's like you and me, everyone, even though we might be living in the same roof, but all of us will have to sit the test individually. All of us will have the lessons. Okay, it's the same test paper, it will have a different result. Okay, but the clue is we need to enter into our higher state of mind. Higher state of mind means we have to reflect the experiences so that the experience can turn into wisdom. If we don't reflect on things and think from a very unbiased way, it will just be an experience that will leave us with certain emotions, a bad experience or a good experience, and it will stop there. Only when we go further to reflect on it and think, why are we experiencing it in such a way, there we can actually change it to wisdom or turn it to wisdom. Okay, and then the next thing is, of course, it affects the torso area. Okay, so the fourth yao represents the torso area. So of course, torso area represents our digestive and also our lungs and heart. Okay, now this is a part where this year you still have like heart issues, you have like lungs issues or the digestive issues. So everything focus on the torso. So we have to strengthen our torso area. So doing meditation, okay, helps, or probably doing some like yoga or whatever, straightening of the spine, strengthening your core. Okay, all this is all part of the torso area that we can focus on. All right, we have plenty of time at home. Now it's like, let's do something productive like this, okay, in order to strengthen certain things, strengthen the mind, strengthen the torso. And the next point is now near high ranking official or emperor. Okay, now this is a part where it's like, looking into probably high ranking officials. It can be like sorry, I got incoming calls. Okay. Alright, so bear with me. Alright, bear with us. Okay, there we'll have a lot of like things going on my phone.
Yeah, so what we're talking about, right, just to recap, is that basically we're taking the prediction for the year in the way Jessie has plucked out the hexagram, and then seeing which needs to be changed so that you get a positive, most positive hexagram. That is basically the solution to how we should tackle the year. Right, and the secret is actually in the fourth yao, which is the fourth line from the bottom, and what that particular fourth yao means in the study of the I Ching. So these are the recommendations.
And after finding the remedy of the solutions, it means we have to put hard work into it, because it's just an hexagram. Okay, it means nothing because it's just a guide or a tool to guide us what are the things that we need to work on. And of course, the next thing it talks about like being near high-ranking officials or emperor. Okay, emperor means like these are the people supposedly that can lead, that have high wisdom, that have high management or power. It's like every countries we have our top head. Okay, so probably this time for us to actually reflect on their leadership skills and all that, and think like out of like different countries. Okay, who are the people that we might want to listen to, we might want to actually reflect on the things that they have said. Okay, now no point condemning, okay? All right, it's like, seriously, is that there's really no point sitting around pointing fingers of like how incapable or capable someone is, okay? We have a choice. We have a choice because nowadays, okay, we are confined here. Our connectedness with people around, our news from abroad and all that, it is not like confined, okay? We can still reach out, we can read the news, we can read different emperors, okay, or high-ranking officials. How are they tackling the whole thing? Which one do you think really has what it takes, the wisdom to handle the situation? And from there, what can we learn? We can learn, or we can listen to speeches from different leaders in the world. Okay, it is all available. So when we listen to all these things, okay, how are we going to react to it?
Correct,
okay,
correct.
does any of these leaders make sense?
Correct.
Okay, if they make sense, probably there's some pointers or two that we can actually retrieve and make use of it. If like certain things that to us probably maybe it's not useful at this moment, just ignore.
Yeah.
Okay, because always remember we have a choice.
You see it around the world.
Yeah.
Leaders around the world, whether they're experts or the political leaders and their government heads, you have the whole spectrum.
Yeah.
From people that you may be like, okay, what's this guy talking about? He's been talking nonsense for the past few years, to somebody who you may not have realized that actually is full of wisdom. And then when you hear what this person has to say in terms of handling the COVID-19 situation,
Yeah.
right? Or handling the world economy, and you're like, wow, this person's really brilliant.
Yes.
So really all out there for us all to see.
Yes, so it is important for us now. The choice is within our hand. Okay, people can say whatever they want to say. I can say whatever I want to say on my Facebook Live. All of you are watching at the same time, over hundreds of you, okay, at times. But you can take the information and reflect on it. If it doesn't make sense to you, just forget about it. All right, or you can shoot me on my Facebook. I'm okay with it. Okay, all right. But the thing is, stop actually sharing things which is like more depressing or bringing more, like it's like a chain reaction sort of like thing. Okay, so it's like we can always think and filter about it. Okay, so filter all these things. Okay, whatever that's good, we share. Whatever that's not serving any like a positive chain reaction, then we stop.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Quick thanks to Stephanie Lai, who summarized the Yijing, the hexagrams for everyone, and also putting in notes, updating
Thank
the
you.
notes, Stephanie. This is an interesting question. Regina asks, is it related to the Emperor card of the year?
No, okay, of course, that is tarot card. It is related to the Emperor card of the year. Probably if we have time and when I have the feel of it, we can actually do a Facebook Live relating to the tarot spread also. But of course, I want to focus on the I Ching one first. All right. Yes, Regina, valid questions. It is also related to the Emperor card, and also the Fool. Don't forget, the Fool is also part of this year's card. So you will see the extremes, spectrum of the Fool and the highly wise personality. All right. But for us is we have a choice to choose. Okay. How are we like resharing things, okay, or how are we reacting to things, okay? And of course, the next thing relating to the fourth Yao is fear, okay? Because the fourth Yao is the transition between the lower trigram to the upper trigram. It's like the first step into the upper trigram, okay? When you raise yourself to a level where everything is new, okay, or a beginning, you might have fearful, you have uncertainty, you have like doubts, okay? So the fourth Yao also relates to fear. Okay, and then of course this fear is also because it's near to the Emperor, and of course now a lot of people has been living in fear, okay, or are living in fear, whether you realize it or you do not realize it. Okay, and the last point for the fourth Yao is focus on your main door. And this time is, of course, at that time main door is during the talk I focus on everyone's house feng shui, and somehow that the whole thing that in a way unfold into a greater cause. Like main door, during February itself, I talk about main door can represent our mouth, because on the physiognomy perspective, our mouth is the main door to our body. If our body is a house, the mouth is the door. So main door is something that we have to focus on. Okay, we have to guard the main door. We have to make sure the main door is the first priority that we need to pay attention to. So from a physical point of view, okay, our mouth is something that is the main door related. So we have to cover the mouth, we have to take care of whatever things that we put into the mouth or any inlets to this itself. But of course, now that you see the things play out in a greater manner, that when you see about border shutdown, when you see about lockdowns and all these things, it's relating to the main door to enter into certain countries. Okay, the main door to enter into certain regions, that is the main door. So now it's like the main door. That's why the countries that is fast to react to shut their main doors are the countries that also has a higher hope to cope with the whole thing. Therefore, for us now, we are going through not a total shutdown of the main door. We are only going through some movement restriction, is it? It's like there's a movement restrictive order.
Control,
It's only a movement control. It's not a total shutdown. So it's like whichever that reacts fastest to shut down or to guard their main doors are the ones that with the highest hope to recuperate or to ward off this particular thing. Okay, so guarding the main door is very important. Alright, so yeah. So what we can do is now, of course, is we guard our own main door. It's like we play a part. We play a part by helping everyone to just stay home. We just don't want this to actually further aggravate. Later, I will share with you March predictions and April predictions. And overall, I'm sure Kong Yu has also shared earlier on, okay, which I've already shared in my class last week as well, that if we have any slightest hope to control or to manage this COVID-19 thing, it will be in April, and that's based on party standpoint, and Kong Yu has shared about it. Okay, so I won't focus so much about that. I will focus on the aging standpoint. Okay, so April is the best month in order to actually confine or control this. You cannot really, like, in a way, like make it disappear, but in a way it's the best month with a hope to manage it at least. So Malaysians, all right, we have up to end of March to make these things right. So in a way that I really hope that everyone will play a part in a way to manage it so that it won't grows, okay, like Italy. It is sad to see that to happen, but it really needs everyone to actually work together. And you know that anger or frustration is not going to help. Okay, so we just have to, like, in a way, educate, because now we go to the hexagram of abundance. Okay, hexagram of abundance, it also tells us, okay, in order to achieve these hexagrams, there are few pointers that we want to pay attention to. And those few pointers, okay, of the hexagram of abundance is, of course, whether our mentality, whether we believe that everything exists in abundance or scarcity. Okay, now you can see this when you see people, is it hoarding? Is that word? It's like how people hoarding their things, okay? How people is in a way like become so selfishly, like, you know, or the mentality becomes so scarcity. Scarcity means that you find that it's limited. I need to get it now or it will be out. It will be unavailable. That's scarcity. Now, abundance means you trust that everything will be enough. Everything will be good accordingly. So it's like if you really want to live up to abundance, a hexagram, we have to also ask ourselves, are we always believing in abundance or are we believing in scarcity mentality? And then of course the next point is about letting go, expansion of consciousness. Again, expansion of consciousness means it's like a lot of education, knowledge, okay, something that can actually help us to grow. That is the fourth point. Expansion of consciousness, growth, recognize the shadow and allow others to teach us or be teachable. The universe collectively, the nature, Mother Earth is teaching everyone a lesson. Can we see that lesson? All right, it's like everyone now is like we've been pushed to actually learn this lesson together, the whole world. Okay, can we see the lesson and learn it? So this particular hexagram says expansion of consciousness, growth, recognize the shadow. The shadow means like what is it that's underlying that makes us react the way we reacted before. Okay, and then after that, allow others to teach us and be teachable. So these are the things that we need to focus on in order for us to actually make a breakthrough for the year 2020. And of course, if we look into the hexagrams as well, right? For March, okay, it's like so many of things. It's like going on, it might take me like forever.
No, that's okay. So hexagram. Okay, so now we look at the monthly hexagram.
Yeah,
right?
the
Okay.
monthly hexagram. Let me sort that out first. Okay,
Mm.
G Mao Man. G Mao Man is March. Okay,
Which is now.
so G Mao Man March is hexagram number 60. G Mao is represented by this hexagram. It's called 水澤解. 水澤 is like 節 Okay, so it's like, you know, this 節 means like, okay, this card itself, right, in English is called restricting, some call it limitation, some call it restraint. Okay, it is a card where water is on top, marsh or lake below. Now just imagine that you have a lake. The lake or the marsh is supposed to contain the water in order to stop the water from spreading out, okay, from flowing, overflowing, because water is an element that will flow anywhere if there's no restriction actually put onto it. Means that if this cup of water, if I pour it, if I take away the cup and I pour it out, the water will pour everywhere into all directions. So March itself, the card itself, Jimao, okay, is the restriction card or limitations. Now limitations means, okay, this is the month where everyone needs to restrict things. That's why movement, restrictive order. Okay, so it's like everything, if you really want to overcome a situation in March itself, is the limitations or restrictive card. And this is based on the 60 jiazi hexagram of Jimao, which is March month. Okay, for those of you who are students who are thinking like, how do we derive the card? Okay, so Jimao is actually represented by limitations, restrictions, or restraint, depending on which version you're looking at. All right.
Yep.
So, and this means that the lake now needs to make sure that it contains the water, because if the lake don't stay on to contain the water, water overflows, it will goes into all direction. It will flood the whole place. Okay, and we do not want that to happen. Therefore, restriction or having restriction is very important. Restriction also means the things that we do. Aside from the movement restriction, like the sharing of information, the news that we share, the news that I can tell you on WhatsApp. It's like, of course my phone is always on silent, but now I have more time to look at the phone, and you will see that it's like non-stop. All the news are going on. Some of it is not even verified whether it's true or not. Okay, so it's like these are the things that probably we also want to actually put some restrictions to it. Okay, when we share that out, is it really going to help?
Yes.
Okay, or is just merely stating something to make people feel more discomfort, or people feel more agitated, people feel more bullied? Okay, if that's the case, everyone, trust me, has already been feeling it. All right, we don't need to further aggravate the whole situation. Okay, and then of course now we take a look at April. Now in April itself, okay, it's Geng Chen month. Geng Chen month itself, right, when we derive the hexagram, it is like Dei Tian Tai. Okay, so it is like this. Okay, so it is like earth, heaven, unity. Okay, now this particular card represents unity, represents peace, or represents advancement. Okay, Dei Tian Tai means, okay, two elements going into an opposing direction, because heaven's supposed to be on top, earth's supposed to be at the bottom. But now earth on top, heaven's bottom, it is now going through an opposing element to actually blend in, to be at one. Okay, so this one means that now we can actually achieve social harmony. Okay, unity. It means in order for us to overcome all these things, okay, when I read the Gua itself, unity is the key word. If you want to overcome all these things, we need to work together, okay, in peace, in harmony, and also in unity. Okay, so it's like not only us, the world needs to work on this together. So in order to change, okay, limitations to this unity hexagram, and April itself, as I mentioned from a party point of view also, you will see it is like the best month in a way to contain the rats, to stop the rat from further spreading out. Okay, because April is the month where the rat goes into, has a chance or higher possibilities to goes into graveyard. So you want to contain it or to control it, April will be a month for us to do so. And in order to that, we need unity from everyone to work together, hand in hand, overcome this together.
Right. This is also generally a positive card overall in the I Ching study, and also because it's heaven and earth in balance.
Yeah.
Right. So
but
overall, it's quite balanced.
Yeah, and you see, the whole world will be affected by these hexagrams or the energy of hexagrams. But the thing is, which country can do it? Which country can't do it? Okay, it depends on that particular country, depends on the individuals or the the civilians, is it? Okay, or the civilians in that particular country itself, the people in that country, all right, how we actually unite together. Okay, and of course, Malaysia is somehow, I believe, at a challenge. I mean, in a way, you know that a lot of things has happened to Malaysia for the past 2 months, okay? Besides the COVID thing, it's like the political things and all that, it has put Malaysia into a challenge of trust, of unity. It's like now people has been split up. So we face another greater challenge as can we see past all these things? Okay, to unite and to actually find a way out. Because I assure, if looking at the energy like this, surely there will be some country finding or improving lots or being able to manage this COVID-19 thing successfully by April comes, because the hexagram is already out. Social harmony, unity can overcome this. With limitations, this will actually brings them to peace, which is the card of this unity card. And then you will see that there are certain countries in the world definitely can achieve to that status. But how many countries and which countries is the question. So is that in a way that if we as a Malaysians can actually contribute to parts of that as well, if we can actually send out more intention to peace and harmony, we can actually send in more intentions to discipline ourselves, okay, to set more limitations on tonight, which is the new moon, okay, which is also the starting of a new cycle. Every new moon is the starting of a new cycle towards a full moon, and now we are starting this new moon in March, and the full cycle will come about in April, because the April will be the full cycle of this new moon. Means whatever intention and thoughts that we send out now will be that limitation card, and by April, if it's successful, it will be the unity card. All right, so the purpose of the whole thing is, of course, to share with all of us is send a good intention tonight, hope, release all the fear, okay, and really tell ourselves any emotions that comes out from deep within us, ask ourselves why are we reacting the way that we are reacting. There's certain notes that I've actually taken down since the very first day of this restrictive order itself, right? I want to talk about is it really COVID-19 that is really that scary? Because I foresee probably you and I might not be affected directly with this particular illness if we really take into managing it and controlling it and discipline ourselves. But one thing for sure that I see a lot of people are in a way suffering consciously or subconsciously is actually depression. Now you see that everyone is so focused onto the COVID, but ever since the first day of this restrictive order, you will see how people behave. The first week is how people becomes so restless, and how there are some shares on Facebook where they wanted so badly to just go back to work. Okay, I remember not so long ago, I always sees people every Monday, they will see dreading themselves to work, look at the jam, it's Monday blues, they're looking forward to Friday, and then suddenly now you will see also a lot of posts as in can't wait to actually get back to work. Okay, people become restless. So it's when you see this, it means that whether you are at work or you're at home, you still feel the restlessness. Okay, and the funny thing is, it's by the same people. The same people as actually dreading to work now is actually dreading to stay at home. So these things actually opens up my eyes to see that, is it COVID-19 that's something that we truly have to be fearful of? Or is it 庚子 year leading to actually their 辛丑 year next year? Okay, this 2 years itself, there's something greater that's playing around every one of us. That is the water part, and that water part, besides the virus, it also represents our emotion or depression. So what I foresee is more and more people now, it's a good thing. You and me, it's not because that I realize these things that I'm someone up there and I can totally handle the whole thing. these things does affect me and you at the same time. It's just that when we realize about it, I just want to share about it so that we can reflect on it. Okay, during this 1 week of lockdown, or partially lockdown, okay, it's not really a lockdown, okay, so we have to be very careful with words. Okay,
movement control.
Yeah, movement control. During this 1 week of like movement control, what do we actually really feel? What do we feel inside? Okay, like, do we feel like joy? Do you feel good? Okay, do you feel agitated? Do you feel angered? Do you feel like blaming someone? You don't have to comment, you don't have to tell us your feeling. Just be very honest to yourself and tell us, what actually do we feel? We have a time now to be at home with our loved ones, with our family, but what exactly are the emotions that we are feeling? Do we talk to them every day? Do we spend time at this moment, okay, where we actually like talk about things, okay? I find that this movement itself actually open up, okay, an opportunity for everyone to now look into what are the things that we should or we can be grateful of. Okay, so I just want everyone to like just focus on tonight's energy of the new moon and ask yourself, as in for the past week, what have you been feeling? Okay, how does your emotions affect you internally? All right, do you feel comfortable? Do you feel calm? Do you feel scared? Do you feel angered? All right, do you feel like you always need to go out and meet your friend, or you need to actually have 5 Facebook posts a day? All right, because it is all about like us, whether we are comfortable in ourselves. Okay, like, do you need people to validate us, to give us the attentions or the like? Now, there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, don't feel bad or don't feel that as if people are judging us. It's just that it is a good time for us to think about it. Why are we doing these things in the first place? What is the ultimate goal? Okay, what is the ultimate outcome that we are wishing for at the end of the day? All right, so probably these are the things that we can actually reflect on. Okay, it's like and then tune into the emotions, and then after that understand like, why is this happening to you? Okay, and I can understand it's like a lot of people are like affected by it. A lot of people were thinking, oh yeah, I have like bills to pay, I have like, you know, employees to pay and all these things. Yes, I understand, but the thing is, if let's say a sudden effect of like 1-2 months, and if any of these businesses cannot function because of this 1-2 months, something is already not right with that businesses. If your personal finances cannot last you for 2 weeks, okay, without having income, there's also something not very right with that personal finances. That is the thing that we have to look into, you and me included. The same thing. It's the best time for us to reflect into that. All right, why is it is like, once if things stop, and everything else will be highly affected by it. It's like, it means that something is not really, in a way, moving very correctly or very balanced there. In a way that we are really striving. Imagine that we are in a deep sea. We are not grounded, and we are like really striving. And once we stop, we will drown. Okay, it means something is wrong somewhere. So it is the best time for us to reflect on it and to think. Okay, as in like, what part is not really work out to the best in our life yet? And probably after these 2 weeks, hopefully, okay, all of us will be free again to actually rectify those things, okay, to improve or make improvements onto those things.
Yeah, those are the things this is the thing which I feel is the most important, because it's giving us an opportunity to actually realize all this. Now, of course, it's painful for most of us in different ways, right? Whether it's suddenly, you know, like the cash flow is disrupted, or business is completely halted, depending on what business or what type of career you're in, isn't it? But then this is a perfect opportunity to think about where perhaps maybe we've leveraged too much, right? We have taken on too many debt. Things like that, or maybe we are in a choice of vocation, or the way that we live our life, and the choices that we make are not secure generally.
And there's been like these things that I always wanted to say, and I know that sometimes when I say these things, it might actually hurt some people or offend some people. As in like, look at it now that we are under these restrictive orders and we have to stay home. Like, you know, how many home can we at the same time occupy, right? Okay, we can just stay at one place. Some of us can own like 10 properties at the same time. But like all these 10 properties, how is it serving us at moments like this? Like at the first place is like the very fundamental or the core of things, of the whole thing is like, you know, sufferings by lacking of wisdom, right? Sufferings by lacking of wisdom is like people, lack of wisdom means like there's so much fear. People tend to like chase for things. People wants to own things. They want to own 10 properties, 20, 30. It is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But within means, okay? When you're ready, you can own, okay? But some, they are not ready and they are striving to own. And then when these things happen, okay, when a test is falling upon you, that's when you will fall the hardest, okay? Because you know at the end of the day, you can't cope. Plus, these things, is it really necessary? I have also seen people who's like been like cravings or been like wishing to have like children and all that. But the thing is like once these things has happened, okay, like there could be some people in a way that when looking at their own children at home, they don't feel comfortable. They might feel like, oh my God, this is so torturing. I can't wait to get back to work. Okay, there are comments like that also. Like, and this is also the time. And I am guilty of that previously, okay? It's like really, it's like I've gone through the phase where to me it's like, it's just career, it's just making money. And when I look at my children, it's like, oh my God, I can't stand them, okay? But is that really what we want at the end of the day? Okay, so I really think that I've been sending message to a lot of friends out there and say, this is the best time for us to actually like, in a way, reflect on that family togetherness, okay? To talk, to reflect, and to reflect on ourselves, to set the right intention, okay, to limit ourselves to certain things that hopefully this collective energy of like getting rid of fear, okay, that you know that everything at the end of the day, it will also pass, all right? And with this collective energy itself, we hope that April, Malaysia will also see a very good progress in the whole COVID-19 thing. And of course, pay attention also to your emotion, because this is the best time because it tested it in a way that it also pushes to feel whatever like fear, things that we might have inside us. So if there's any slight depression, any slight suppression of emotions, this is the best time for us to feel it so that we can express it nicely and we can also heal over it. Or if not, you hear my words, by the end of the year or by next year, you will see more and more people will be suffering from depression. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly, yep. Yeah, it's a perfect time to find meaning and really, you know, what is meaningful to all of us. I mean, at the end of the day, in my opinion, what gives real meaning to life is universal, right? It's overall, you can say it's the human spirit, the bond that we all have as human beings, the bond between family members, the people who really, really matter to us in life, a sense of that feeling and that sort of security from that perspective. You know, it might not even be security from having to face the economic challenges or cash flow challenges and all that kind of thing. Yeah, so this is a perfect time for us to look into these issues smack in the face, because we have no choice, right? We have to be locked down, partially locked down, fully locked down, depending on where you are watching and listening from around the world. We are forced to really be inward and stay at home.
Yeah.
And return to base.
Yeah. So if you do have any questions, probably you can actually like, you know, share it now. Like if not, I think I've shared whatever I want to share.
Okay, this one?
Yeah. No, this is for the upcoming months and all that. I don't think I need to really share it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So any questions at the moment? Wait, let's see.
Yeah,
any
you can check.
particular
Can't
comments
really see. It's like,
before. But thank you so much.
Thank you so much
Yes.
for spending an hour of your time tuning into this. Like I really hope that tonight, I mean, if you have not taken your bath, okay, you can actually take your bath, and again the same thing, take salt and like no scrub over your body and all that, so that you cleanse the energy and you calm yourself. And tonight, just right before you sleep, just set an intention. Just tell yourself that whatever fear that you're feeling inside it's not real, okay? Just tell yourself at the end of the day, all right, what we needed, okay, is enough. Okay, what exactly we needed is enough. Sometimes it's just that when we wanted much more, than what we actually needed, that is setting us onto the path of suffering.
Yeah.
Okay, so letting go is also one of the things of the abundance hexagram. Remember, letting go. So probably there are certain things, okay, that you feel that you're suffering because of, like, it can be financial, it can be holding on to certain things, which is like not now. It's like the more you hold on, the more, how to say, commitment of, like, financial commitment that you go through. Now, probably these are the things that you might actually want to consider to let go.
Yeah.
Okay, or thinking of a way. It's like letting go doesn't mean that you just like, yeah, you just release and let go of it. Thinking of a way of, like, being flexible enough to cope with the manner. Okay, rather being too rigid of, like, just thinking about it this way, suffering, and yet nothing can be done about it.
Yeah.
Okay, just be more flexible. There are many ways to actually tackle the whole situation. But the thing is, if every time if we are always confined with fear, the ego will always get into the way and nothing can get done. Okay, so I really hope that everyone will just have a good bath, okay, scrub yourself with some salt, okay, and then have a good sleep, reflecting on the whole thing, and then try to also think about, like, the past week. How have you felt for the past one whole week?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Stephanie says someone shared it's a reset mode for the world. It's a reset
mode. Yeah, I mean, it could be in a way that is like, you see, everyone is going through this together, and it's definitely is like Mother Earth is also sending all of us a great big test. Okay, whether it's 100% Mother Earth or it is partly Mother Earth and partly man-made, we don't know yet. All right, but at least that everyone is really into this, and so we are sitting for the same exam. It's just that different readiness, different level of our energy will actually gives us a different result in it.
Correct.
So I really hope all of you can really reflect on whatever that's been shared tonight. Okay, think about it, because at the end of the day, okay, whatever that is leading us to the suffering, the emotions of, like, sufferings that we have now, is it worthwhile by the end of time?
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much for tuning in. All right. So we have another week. 加油. We can do this. All right. There's always social media around. Okay?
Right.
And who knows, like, maybe one fine night itself, I will suddenly, it's like, oh, let's do Facebook Live. And then he just got to know about it like half an hour before the Facebook Live. And it's like, oh, okay. Right? Thank you. Thanks to him.
No worries. My advice is, remember, don't expect things to be resolved overnight. In terms of what you personally need to work on. It's a process, and at the same time you may be feeling, looking back at this past 1 week, right, you may be feeling a mixture of emotions, right, depending on where you are, your readiness, and what you've opened your eyes up to address and to confront.
Yeah, and really one thing, of course, I'm not confining all of you from sharing any news that is like, might be like not so helpful, but let's say if you can really, in a way, try to filter out the news, and then probably just ask yourself, if we share it, what good is it going to bring to others and every one of us? Okay, if you really can find the answer, then truthful answer to it, then share by all means. All right, so thank you so much. Good night. Have a good night's sleep.
Good night. Happy new moon.
Happy new moon. Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.